I should clarify a couple things before we start. First of all, one of the reasons I'm just like so floored with this case is just how many times that we flip-flopped over simple points such as, you know, who's dead? Because we started out being the Riddler, and then it was... I haven't come up with a nickname for the scary soldier person. Navy SEAL. And now it's the Riddler again. I don't know. The other thing is, last time I mentioned that the whole, like, gloves hiding scars thing was taken from somewhere else. No, I was remembering a fan fiction that probably was based off this instead. Funny how memory works. Regardless, we're going in, and we're gonna solve whoever's murder. I don't even know. What, is he behind me? The hell were you guys doing? Sniffing your own asses? Oh yeah, we had all kinds of sex.
Huh?
Hey. What?
I can't wait. Oh my gosh. Who could it be? Never mind. Someone's late. Maybe they missed their cab.
Why?
I thought we were gonna do trial. What?
Could it be?
Oh hey! It's time for the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. Yeah.
What?
Did you expect him to just show up in front of you? He always just like pops out of the frickin' ceiling or something.
Come on.
Were you not paying attention to us standing in the elevator? Whoa! Excuse me? I don't get it.
In other words...
That's not our problem. We're all here. What the hell are we waiting for? And you are...
Hey.
What? The frick? Get out! I mean, don't. We need you, but what? Well, now who's the dead body?
What?
Is that right?
I'm looking through the rule book now. I don't like you, and there's some way we can punish. No, there isn't.
Indeed.
Yeah, but we haven't seen you in like 2 hours. At least. Ignoring him.
Let's go.
But...
Okay, seriously.
Correct.
Where the frick in the building is that?
That's right.
There's like the bathroom that leads to the secret passage, but dorms?
Whew.
We had all kinds of fun without you.
So... However... Wrong. In other words...
Oh! What the hell has been going on? These things aren't secret anymore.
Just a second.
Makoto. It would seem...
Okay, that's a little selfish.
Goodbye.
That's totally not going to matter for the rest of the trial at all. Oh no, the door closed with me in it! Ah, I'm dying! No, never mind. We're just right here. Do we all keep the same place in the elevator? I can't, it's not like I remember. I bet we do though. You take that square, I take this square. Equal space between us. It's a period of time, you know. Just because you don't know how long it is doesn't mean it was like infinity or something. It was just a bright light. Ah, whatever.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
Nope, that's the blinding light. Bright. What the frick did he say? Oh, blinding. That was the word. Tried to combine like 10 other ones. Of this absolutely awful color scheme. Well, if your goal is to make us all throw up during trial.
Thrills, chills, kills!
Maybe the whole deadly thing is an attempt to write some kind of like frickin' Andrew Lloyd Webber musical or something. None of those make sense either. Okay. I literally have nothing else.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one,
Then you don't get to go to Denny's with the rest of the class.
then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
And somehow we're on murder case number 5. Yep, the spinning wheel tells me so, and it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim.
She did.
First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
I think the Riddler would have something to say about that.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost.
Take a shot every time he says ghost. You'll be dead by next 4 minutes.
But she has legs and stuff.
That proves it.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There, one shot closer to death.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Did you bring a muzzle?
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right?
Good luck to us.
Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
Why is face capitalized? Is there some kind of branding that she has for that? I mean, I want to, but...
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
The corpse felt very distant. I'm pretty sure it was her.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
Go ahead.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
Yeah,
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
convenient.
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
That's 2. We're still on this somehow?
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
That's 3.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
That's 4.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong. No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember?
Unless they had really long gloves.
I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain.
Maybe the victim was stupid.
Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
What's wrong with your hands?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life.
What the hell? Where'd you get glove kind of money?
If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Give him one more chance.
Okay, so then,
Ah.
who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
I thought you'd say ghost one more time, but I guess you have an original thought.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong.
It was
There
JFK.
was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Come at me, bro.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
Did you not see the 4 freaking executions?
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Interesting thought.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
That's kind of how tattoos work.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
So they're not some kind of like secret ops or anything.
Fenrir?
What the frick am I doing? Any time doing that. We all know what the picture is. It's a picture.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast.
Couldn't you have just explained that before I did the whole shoot down 2 letters thing?
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Okay.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
I bet she's also read Goosebumps.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
She got a tattoo.
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
Can't we ask?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
That is what we're doing.
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place.
Then why is it on the frickin' profile? That's annoying.
After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description.
Oh, my bad. I guess we just made it up.
All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from...
The flashback!
Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
If we look at that scene again!
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
A+.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
This character wasn't important.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character?
Yes?
Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
That's my theory.
And then, who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost.
But now I want to discuss the Princess Diaries.
Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Okay.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
You better fear me.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no!
Go us.
There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Cool.
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
That's what we said before.
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma.
Maybe you should do social things for once.
The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs.
We held hands.
All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Aha!
exactly so.
Yeah, let's toss a coin and see who loses.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
It was her!
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at, well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body?
What if someone moved the body to the garden?
Oh,
Eh.
but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
I expected some kind of funny thing, like maybe not a number, but
I got it!
shame.
The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock.
Me.
But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Wow, that's like almost the entire time period we started with.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
No, that's wrong!
How about you just shut up?
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on! I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Not all of it, though.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
Moving on.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
That's not better.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Nice jump.
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I was gonna. Hang on. Whoa, good catch, me. Cause I gotta get ready for this.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no!
Cool.
How can you say it wasn't the...
This should prove it.
Yeah!
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I didn't miss this side of you at all.
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Because I need to put out the fire. The top half. I just... Okay.
Then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
Hey, that part of our alibi is good!
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
Convenient.
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Yay. Well, what else are you gonna do about this?
I'd just like to say one thing.
If
If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever.
Is that a threat?
Which is why I can't let that happen.
I'll kill you all first!
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
That doesn't seem nice.
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
News to me.
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything.
Why wouldn't she just call her the mastermind then?
So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all.
Yeah, you didn't do anything productive.
And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
Yeah, the ghost person.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Ow! Thanks for the whiplash.
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Peanut butter! God damn it. Why am I helping?
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
Seems like the opposite would be true, but okay.
The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean.
What was filled... What? What was in the water?
This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Oh, because to set the time frame for the murder.
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
I liked it better when you were dead.
Wait, something's not right.
And what might that be? By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong.
There was blood.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Yakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Let someone use the magic of OxyClean.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
And missed an entire side?
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
Good try, though.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
From what? So he didn't know the body was secretly a tiger.
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
Where the hell did they get blood? Thought that was all used in the whole Dracula plot.
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
From themselves?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
I thought of that.
That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Oh!
I got it!
Boo!
Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
That means... one disappeared!
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken? And then covered the body with its blood?
Why not?
Man, that's messed up.
Worse than the murder!
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Whole.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
How would you have known that at all?
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
all of this.
You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange.
Well, let's ignore it.
Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
No, it was a nonsensical.
I think so.
No, it wasn't. That's not how you wear a
Wait.
coat.
No. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they've already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
How so?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still,
I don't like any of this.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
I didn't do that at all, I don't think.
that's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
Yeah, all of me is inadequate. I get it. I thought you said you weren't going to think about that.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
Time for a lunch break.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it?
Eeny, meeny.
Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
I hate this! I already said that. I didn't know you would.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, it wasn't!
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
How, like...
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right?
I kind of forgot about that one. It's not serious. It's just a knife.
According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
Which is impossible, but whatever.
So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before.
Nope! It was just, you know, in the knife store we have at the school.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
That knife was always not with me. No. No, not this flashback. Please. Go away. Stop it. Wait a minute. Oh, come on! There's no way you set me up with this!
We gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
I didn't like it!
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I didn't tell anybody! Oh, right. The fight that happened in my room that may or may have not happened.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Aren't you only 30% sure about this stuff? That's a lot of confidence from someone who doesn't even know what happened last night.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Let's talk about something else.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, that's wrong.
It's not that simple.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body.
It was a decoy or something.
Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Read sometime.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer.
A lot of work put into something we don't even know if it actually was useful.
They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing.
Yeah, that was a dick move.
The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but...
Then no.
What's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
I
Or
might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
at least he trusts us enough to like share the right answer.
I got it!
Still hate
After
him.
the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
I just realized now that Richie Rich is just looking at Jimmy Neutron's ass. That was his entire plan the whole time.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb!
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto.
Right? So why would I want to suspect myself?
And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Slam!
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true! It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
Might even help our cause still. Okay, that's not useful, so... Oh, what do I have to pick up out of this?
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay, I have an idea.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me. And then there's only...
Oh yeah. According to them, that's gotta be it.
There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back
Really?
of her head.
It was the opposite! You're telling me I was supposed to defeat... Ah!
Shoot!
Go to hell! In the back.
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal...
The explosion didn't kill...
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me. And then...
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire...
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's
Fatal injury has yet
to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't me. And then...
Oh yeah.
Am I just...
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that
Do
showed
I
she
just
was
actually
hit on
not know the
More than
answer to
that,
this?
The victim had suffered countless
Let me give it
wounds
one more
across her
try.
entire...
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's
fatal injury has...
Thank you!
No, that's wrong. Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then... What was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
Blunt.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
They used the handle.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
Why do I know what you're gonna say before you say it?
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power.
She's tried.
I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with a metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Ooh, sexy.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
I have an idea. Thin metal pipe, thin metal pipe, thin metal pipe, thin metal pipe.
I got it!
It's stupid, but it
Mukuro was
works.
hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her.
That's not my answer. Hang on.
And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds... kinda weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
What am I doing? Oh crap, I don't know the
titanium
answer to
arrow.
this. Hang on.
It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Yes? So what do I have
You
to say?
sure?
Yeah?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
Oh! Hang on, I got it.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right?
I have no doubt.
You sure?
You don't sound
Well, it said the weapon must have been about. It seems like an arrow would just be too.
That's true.
That's wrong.
But if you used a lot of them all at once, like a maniac.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together.
You'd think just finding a pipe would be easier.
Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks.
I'm sorry, I know what that's called and I don't want to say it. Maybe she'll say it for
One
us.
stick is weak, but put them together and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Hang on, I'll add something here.
Right. Individually, we are weak, like a single twig. But as a bundle, we form a mighty faggot.
Well said.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker,
I know!
it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh, wow, amazing!
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
It's because I pointed at her.
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter?
I don't like this.
Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer.
It's not, I wouldn't be the first person.
You know what will happen if you do, don't you?
Cake?
If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to.
More cake?
The death of us all, remember?
Well, that includes you.
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
You do it!
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
I was in your room.
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Oh yeah, you haven't been there in a while. It's quite cozy.
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
I kind of like her, maybe, sort of.
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just
I like hearing myself talk.
there's one more thing I need to ask her.
Do you love me?
Kyoko, I want you to tell me something.
What's your favorite color? Oh.
Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
You couldn't have guessed that? And she just made him vanish, like poof, disappear. Or she killed them!
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
I have mixed feelings. Give me a second.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Hang on. There's something I'm gonna have to explain coming up, and I don't want to miss it.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
Oh, I'm calling you stupid. How do you feel? Ah, useless.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Are you hiding something?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime
Oh, I
in the
just
dojo
talked
locker,
myself into the
and then
freaking
left
problem.
the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Oh, crap! I literally...
Those words you just spoke.
I said it all and didn't even think
I'm
about
not
it.
the killer. You should understand that.
Byakuya, what are you...
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof
That you aren't the culprit.
No, that's wrong.
My head hurts.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
What are we gonna do about this?
Then you're finally starting to understand.
Didn't you say that during the trial? I don't remember. Whatever. It's easier to just have like the static background. We get it.
It's a trap!
Okay, so there are two options you have here. One actually ends the game and one doesn't. I'm gonna end the game first. Okay, did the room just freaking flip over? It sounds like you're drunk now. Just do something. I don't know what that direction it points. I don't know what that points to. I have no idea what the runaway option does. Like I said, I'm going to show you the bad ending first.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
That's what you get for confiding in me.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you, so let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
You can get to the dorms from a different way.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya.
Yes, but...
There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten
Into my room.
Oh, thank goodness it still worked.
Wrong. No. Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school. Which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
Yay, we won.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
Winner!
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it.
You're welcome.
So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't...
Yay for effing up!
Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But we don't even get to try to get out of the trap. I had all the opportunity in the world, but I want more.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you! But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
I'll do it, but I don't like it. It's the trap, you fool! I totally killed you, and it's all my fault!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment! Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Couldn't you just get up and run away? Or don't. Dude, that took like 5 hours. Now I'm late for something. That was the end of Mikura's last trial. Well, that seems pretty nice. How's that the bad ending? What the mother of God is going on here? I'm sorry, who actually had sex with Richie Rich, though? I mean, only one person, right? Right? Oh.
No! This isn't right!
I'm gonna go back in time and fix this. Just watch me. Whoops, all a dream.
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Isn't that awesome? Just right back to where you were. I could just go all Groundhog Day and do that all over again, but... Don't care.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact?
Guess so.
I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room, that it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time.
Maybe I should just speak up?
I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Put an actual end to this?
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
I could always say it was me.
There's only one other possibility I can think of.
You could do it for me.
Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
Sounds a lot like me.
It had to be Makoto, right?
Hell yeah!
I don't see any other option.
Ding, ding, ding.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
You just watched the Riddler die, and now you're gonna go on about how... What, it was her again?
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you?
It's the walls, isn't it?
Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Too much information, nope.
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time.
Me.
So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
It's the time, that's the time for the time to vote.
Voting time?
Hey, I get to become president now. And see, now the chapter's actually over. And I got an A for amazing. It's a piddly amount, but whatever.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Oh, you're gonna like this one.
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Heck yeah! Jim finally won! Took 5 tries. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Ah, love you guys too.
Yes, indeed.
See?
Yep.
They did it though! We know that for a fact because we've done this twice.
Hey!
You scammed us like a Nigerian prince.
Shing! Thrills, chills, kills!
And you already saw the punishment. You turning more shades of color like you did during the punishment? Oh, wasn't that fun? You don't remember it, I bet.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
How about a hug?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
It's us! It's a new song. Get out of the frickin' desk, you madman! What a lucky break! That whole ultimate lucky student thing has finally come in handy for the first time ever. Also, thank you, Magic Computer.
This is...
It would seem...
What the heck?
In other words...
Hey, I saw this in Star Wars. I can get out of a frickin' garbage dump. Trash compactor, whatever it is. I've also played Half-Life. This is easy peasy. Well, I'm not here. I don't know how I'm learning any of this information.
Calm down. In other words...
What did you say?
Being cryptic is her thing, just go with it.
So...
Nod your head and go away. Shh. I don't know what I'm doing.